Okay, so the next area is, are you good at speaking with people? I know I've said this before and in other sessions and even in this particular session, but are you good at talking with others? Are you good at speaking with them? Because any new business and explaining what you do and what you're offering is very critical. That's going to be you've got to figure out the message. It's critical to know that communication is how you are going to tell people about why they should buy your product or service from you. What is your unique selling advantage? What makes you unique and different? And I can only express this enough, that communication skills, good communication skills, are a must when you're starting this business. Okay, so is it impossible if you're not a good communicator? No, it's not. Moses wasn't a good communicator, but Aaron stepped in and helped him out. Sorry to digress on the biblical example there, but the point is, if you're good at communication, then you can tell others about what you do. And you can do it in a succinct format that will be an everyday thing as you meet other people in business, as you introduce yourself and your product and your company and your service to others. They just want to know that someone is on the back end communicating in a way that they resonate to. So just know that you and your employees need to get good at communicating with other people. Externally with your customers, your vendors, your suppliers. Of course, that's of utmost importance, but also internally as well with your employees. Become a good communicator. All right, so the next area is, we've always heard about wearing a lot of hats as a business owner. Well, I can tell you that you do. Sometimes it requires you to wear 13 hats in a day, from bookkeeping to sales to HR to PR to marketing to operations, and the list goes on and on. But you just need to be aware that in many instances on a daily basis, you are going to have to wear all of those different hats at multiple intervals. And you may not be comfortable with some of those tasks that you have to perform, but I'm here to tell you that you need to be able to be prepared to run all of the aspects of your company in the beginning. And what better way to learn all those different aspects of your business than to actually have to do it in the beginning? So as you're launching this company, just realize that there's a lot of hats you're going to be wearing. And also, as you may look at leaving a particular career and starting a company, or if your brother has come up with the greatest, coolest thing that you want to be a part of, are you going to be comfortable with the lack of structure? Are you going to be comfortable with not going to the 8 to 5 routine? Well, you need to feel comfortable with making all of the different decisions on a day-to-day basis, but you also need to make sure that you're comfortable with the fact that everything doesn't always fit in a nice little framework when you're owning and operating a small business of your own. And that things come up, employee issues, supplier issues, banking issues, IRS issues, many different things that we don't need to get into a lot of details here, but just you need to ask yourself the question, are you comfortable with the lack of structure? Without any structure, sometimes people look at it like, well, wait, I need someone to tell me what to do. Well, you are the one that's going to have to tell yourself what to do in the beginning. You're the one that's going to have to motivate you and explain to yourself. And if you don't understand what you need to do, then get the help that you need. Go to your team. Go to your external advisors and ask them for help and guidance, because sometimes that structure may not be there readily available for you, and you need to involve other people. So if you think about where we are with the particular lack of structure that may exist in an entrepreneurial venture, I want to make certain that you have the tools and the resources available to you so that you do feel comfortable with that lack of structure, because that's an important element of running your company. Okay, so the next area we want to cover is that there's your family And your spouse, if you have a spouse, are they going to support you in this venture? Because I can tell you that marriages and relationships are going to be strained. You're going to be spending a lot of extra time on this company. This may even be like another marriage with running this business, but it's going to be very time consuming. So does your family, ask yourself, does your family and your spouse support you in this venture? Because your commitment of time and of capital to make this work can literally put a huge drain on relationships with your loved ones. And those relationships are obviously more important than the company. Those relationships with your family are of utmost importance to you. I hope they are anyway. But just know that with this time commitment and the commitment of capital, that puts a strain on a marriage. Are you ready to do that? Are you strong enough to do that? Is your spouse strong enough to allow you to do that? It's just some simple reflections that we need to have within our own mind before we jump into this venture. The next one would be execution. We talk about good ideas. We talk about the marketplace. We figure out whether or not we're ready to launch. We put our resources together. We put our team together. We have the coolest product ready to go. But how do you execute? Are you good at execution? That's a question you have to start really taking a mindset to, and know that successful entrepreneurs usually have a history of coming up with ideas but not seeing them through. Well, what do I mean by that? You have a great idea, you put a great plan together, but all of a sudden you realize that, oh, I've got to sell this? Well, that's the execution piece, the marketing and the sales and the follow-up. Are you good at execution? Because if you're not, make sure that you surround yourself with good people that know how to do the execution, because this is going to be, I don't want you to become a statistic where we come up with all these great ideas, we get everything ready, and then we can't execute on what we said. So just a simple question, do you have a history of executing on the ideas that you've come up with? Past leadership roles are a great indicator that you can carry out your plans. So if you've been in a leadership role before, even if not, if you're a parent, you're in a leadership role. If you're in a relationship, you even have to take the role of leadership sometimes. But in business, it'd be great if you have some history where carrying out your plans was of utmost importance to you. So just fall back on some of those things that you learned along the way about execution. All right, so the next area that we want to look at is, do you need a business partner or a financial partner to help you shore up some of your shortcomings, whether they're financial or whether they're business related? And if you feel like you need to have some type of a business partner involved, make sure they're compatible with you. Make sure that they're also going to be pulling their weight, that you're not going to be spending all the money, providing all the work, spending the 16 hours a day while they're off, spending 2 hours and expecting the same type of return on the investment. So if you do need a financial partner, partnerships work out great. I've had several partnerships that have gone bad. I've had great partnerships that have gone well. So it really depends on the compatibility of the business partners as they come together. And that would include financial partners as well. But your financial partners will also be those individuals who hopefully will be involved with you to help operate your company and get it launched in the right aspect, because they probably are entrepreneurial anyway. And they want to be involved when they want you to succeed. And sometimes a financial partner is an individual or a group of people that will be necessary to help you launch successfully. So those are some of the things that you need to look at and why they're so important as you bring everything together in launching this particular company, and some of the questions that are just important for you to understand and to know before you actually jump into this venture. Just sit down and take a little bit of time and write down your your answers to the questions that were posed, because those are the types of questions that will help you clearly understand if this is really going to work for you or not. And then be honest with yourself after you've answered the questions if you still are compatible with entrepreneurship, because this is going to be a great ride. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very exhilarating and exciting. but it's also going to be stressful. And it's going to tax your knowledge. It's going to tax your finances. It's going to tax even your inner core sometimes, whether or not you think you can make a go of this. I believe in you, and I believe that you can, and I'm excited for you as you're getting ready to launch this particular company. Make sure you have all the resources available to you. Get the books that you need. Get the information that you so desire and so need from trusted individuals. And bring all of that together and get ready to launch and have a successful time. And we're praying for you, and we hope that all is going to go well with your company, because you now have some great resources available to you with this series and with many more things that we're going to be covering in our entrepreneurial program. So thank you again for checking out this particular segment. I'm looking forward to having you come in and learn more about what we're providing, some of the knowledge that we're offering, and we'll see you on the other side.